Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Arrows Up podcast. This is German coming to you on on this edition of the pod where we're gonna have a boxing show today. I'm joined by David, as always, our official Arrows Up boxing MMA fighting correspondent. David, we have a sad podcast today.
We do.
There's no two ways about it. Uh, I I have been putting this podcast off for a while, just out of sadness, disappointment, um,
You're in denial, bro.
in denial,
Oh, let's
just
just say
grief, just the whole thing.
it.
Um, well, I mean, we have to start here. Canelo Bivol, they fought the first weekend of May. It was anytime Canelo fights, at least for me, for you, it's a big thing. It's our guy. It's like one of our sports teams playing. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. It isn't just a regular thing. Like Benavides fought on Saturday, and I watched it, but it was whatever. It's Benavides, whatever. It's another fight.
Lemieux, yeah. Who?
The
Like,
me, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Um, but Canelo, it's personal, and you go in there, and it's you, and if he wins, you win, and you just feel it. But he lost. He went in there against Bivol, and he takes a second loss as a professional. Um, what did you see? So, what did you see from the very beginning? How did you feel leading up to the fight? And so let's start there. How did you feel leading up to the fight?
Okay. I think it's obvious with most Canelo fights, I don't know. It feels like you're a kid watching your favorite team, and you have this like kind of blind loyalty, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, Canelo's gonna win." Like it.
right.
And lately, with the warpath he's been on, you're thinking like, "Dude, no one's gonna beat him." So you're thinking like, "Okay, yeah, this guy's gonna win." But it's funny going into the fight. I was watching like Bivol, like his training and like his interviews, and I was like, this guy doesn't seem rattled at all. Like I don't know, and and I saw that he was young. He's the same age as Canelo, so I was like, okay, so he's
Mm-hmm.
like not better be ever like 36, 37, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this guy's like he's young. He's in his prime. He's at 175, and I thought back to when we did like it was like the lead up to Canelo versus Billy Joe, and you said going into that fight, you're like, there's a possibility that Canelo may lose this weekend, and that's how I felt going into this Bivol fight. I was like,
Mm,
I think Canelo's gonna win, but there's a possibility that he loses this fight, you know. And as the fight went on, you could see the frustration on Canelo's end,
yeah.
and I was just kind of like, it reminded me of when I was watching not that the fights are similar, but just the feeling I had inside. It was when I watched Pacquiao fight Mayweather, and as the fight went on, I was like, oh,
Okay.
Pacquiao's gonna lose, like damn. And as I
Yeah.
was watching that fight, the Bivol fight, I was like, oh, I think Canelo's gonna lose, man. I was like, damn, like, and I was sad. I was just like, because after the fight, I'm usually like on the gram posting like we got Mexico and all this stuff, and like sharing his pictures, and like I bet a bunch of my friends were like, oh, like damn, David's like super quiet now over there, like like someone check in on David, he's not doing too good, and I was like, so
Oh man, yeah.
so yeah, but yeah, mainly frustration, and I think that a lot of that is what made the judges and people immediately think like, oh, this isn't going Canelo's way. Immediately, he looked kind of fatigued, I guess, like during some of those rounds, almost like his power wasn't having the effect he thought it was going to have on Bivol. You saw his arm was all busted up, the way Callum Smith's was,
Hmm.
and I thought that was going to be like a saving grace from like, oh, maybe Bivol's going to like. But he was fine. And after the fight, he even mentioned he's like, yeah, he was hitting the crap out of my arm, and I saw what happened to Callum Smith. But I don't know, bigger dude, I guess, or beefier dude at that weight. But
Yeah, so heading into the fight, I felt it was weird. I felt the same way I felt when he fought Billy Joe, like he could lose, and Bivol is a he's stiff competition and he's a good fighter. But I did feel like he had real weaknesses that Canelo could exploit. Yeah, where with Billy Joe, I felt Billy Joe was a bigger threat because I thought Billy Joe had enough boxing ability to be able to frustrate Canelo boxing wise.
Mm-hmm.
And with Bivol, I just thought like, man, this guy hates being hit in the body. Everyone who's ever watched a round of Bivol's fights knows that he hates being hit in the body. You hit him in the body and he hates it, and he becomes a different fighter. And so I thought going into the fight, Canelo's gonna attack the body. Yeah, Bivol is dangerous and he's bigger and he's natural 175. I get all that, but he's gonna hate being hit to the body, and Canelo's gonna chop him down, and he's gonna stop him late because of the body punches. And he didn't throw that many body punches. He wasn't committed to the body. I don't know if it was a game plan or not. And when the fight first started, so I ended up scoring it 7-5. I watched that fight like 5 times already. Because most people in my life tell me that Canelo got destroyed. And that's not how I felt Saturday night. I didn't feel like, oh my God, Bivol was on the verge of knocking him out. And I was like, calm the hell down. First of all, like, pump the damn brakes. Knocking who out? What are we talking about here? And they made it seem like this was Canelo Mayweather all over again. And I just was, I didn't feel that way Saturday. I remember the Canelo Mayweather, and I remember feeling hopeless, like in round 3. And like, oh man, Canelo's game plan sucks, and he's not going to be able to hit him because he's trying to outbox Mayweather, and that's just a horrible game plan. Here, I just felt like, come on, Canelo, just pick up the pace, dude. Like, start throwing jabs. Come on, throw jabs. Why aren't you throwing the jab? And so it was so weird. It was such a weird fight that after watching over and over again, I had Canelo winning the first 4 rounds. I felt like he controlled the pace, he controlled the ring. I felt like every time Bivol would throw was in direct in concert with what Canelo was doing. Mm-hmm. It felt to me a lot like the first Triple G Canelo fight, where Triple G, Canelo would bring him to the ropes, Triple G would unload, Canelo would throw 2-3 punches and back him off. And that seemed to be the whole fight. The difference was that versus Golovkin, Canelo was throwing his jab a lot. Versus Golovkin, he was moving better. And I think he had a more dynamic game plan versus Golovkin, where I did feel like he threw way too many power punches. Mm-hmm. And against Bivol, that's not the game plan. And so part of me kind of looks at Eddie Reynoso and thinks like, man, like, what was your game plan in this fight?
Yeah.
Like, we've been praising you a lot, and rightfully so. But man, that was a really bad Eddie Reynoso game plan, because one thing we know about Canelo is Canelo will follow the directions of Eddie Reynoso. And Canelo, part of his frustrations was that he didn't look good. I felt like part of me doesn't think that he took the fight serious. I didn't like that he was like golfing every day. I'm not sure. And it is what it is, but he didn't have the same fire in his eyes, the same look, it didn't look like a Canelo in a big fight. But I was okay. He's still Canelo. But the game plan baffles me. I've watched that fight, like I said, like 5 times. It baffles me. I don't understand it. Because if you know just an ounce of boxing, Bivol, you attack the body. It was so strange. It was so weird to me. Did you have a problem with his game plan?
Okay. When I looked at the combi box numbers, I was looking at his jabs and then just overall punches, and I was like, he threw power punches, but like you said, it's like he didn't really use the jab all that much at all, and it's like he was banking. It's like they thought the power was going to be too much for Bivol, and it ended up not working out that way at all. Whereas I don't know, even in that first both Triple G fights, you could see when Canelo was like landing flush, and it wasn't like hurting Triple G, but you could see that they were having an effect on his face, at least the way he looked. And with Bivol, I don't know,
his mental makeup too, because Golovkin wasn't as willing to exchange.
Yeah,
because he knew something's coming back my way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Bivol was just, I don't know, Bivol was really composed when he was like unloading, or when he was waiting for Canelo to come off the ropes. He was like, "Nah, man, you got to come out to me too." And so I'm thinking like, I expected a lot more output from Canelo.
Yeah.
And so obviously people were saying, "Oh, the weight and this and that." I don't know if it was the weight. I don't know, but I definitely did expect a lot more output in general. Because in that first Triple G fight, Canelo was putting in work, and there was a time in those middle rounds in that first fight where he kind of gassed a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he found his second wind. And in this Bivol fight, it kind of felt like he was gassed for like a chunk of it and just banking on like the power punches. And I'm like, so I was like, not that it seemed lazy, but it just seemed like I was like, I expected you to throw a lot more punches. And in some of those rounds, it's like they were saying like, oh, this is the I think one of them was like, this is the lowest number of punches Canelo's ever thrown in a fight. And I was like, that threw me for a loop. I was like, what? Like, so, but yeah.
I do think he didn't take it serious. That's why I think that, because it just, I don't know. I think a lot of what Hagler said. It's really hard to train when you're in a silk
pajamas, man. You know,
silk pajamas. Yeah. So I just think like,
I don't know. This is Canelo's like Rocky 3 moment, like,
because it did feel that way. Like watching it, and maybe I've watched it too many times, but it just, you watch that fight and you watch his other fights leading up to it. You watch the Caleb Plant fight, for example.
Yeah.
And that was a focused, 100% focused Canelo. You saw it in his eyes, you saw it in his entrance, you saw it in everything. It just, I am here for business. I am here to conquer. And it's been the same thing heading into all of these. It's just, I'm here to accomplish. I'm here to do it. That in this one, it didn't feel like I am here to conquer Bivol. It was just like, I'm here because I'm the guy, and this party is my party. And just, he just didn't have the same fire, the same competitive, the same, like, we've seen Canelo frustrated before.
Yeah.
I remember I'm going way back, but when he fought Josecito Lopez, there was a moment in that fight where Josecito Lopez landed several good punches flush. Canelo got angry, he got upset, you saw it in his face, and then he finished Josecito Lopez.
Yeah.
In this fight, Canelo got angry, got frustrated, and he just was like, ugh. And you're just like, whoa, wait a minute, like, that's crazy. Like, what am I seeing here? What is happening? And maybe it's the fact that 175 was just a pipe dream, and he's challenging himself to be great and all of that. And that's, been the narrative, at least, and all that, maybe. And maybe that was just his way of challenging himself. 175, realizing.
Yeah.
He gets to 175, realizing 175 is too much, and him just, making it respectful, maybe. But it was just it was such a weird temperament. He had such a weird temperament in that fight.
Did you hear his answer to the question in the, I think it was the press conference, and one of the reporters was like, "Hey, so Canelo, what are you gonna do tomorrow? Like, what's, you know?"
He said, "Go play golf."
He's like, "I'm gonna go play golf." And that answer kind of like, I was like, "Bro, what?" Like, not that he
Yeah.
shouldn't play golf, but I don't know. He seemed very like nonchalant about it and just a little too comfy. And I'm like,
Well, maybe because 175 wasn't the thing. Because he did say, I do feel, my best at 168.
okay. Okay? My brother has been buying into this little theory, and I have
Yeah.
my coworker did as well. Which I'm just like, I don't know, fam. There's plenty of athletes that do this. I don't think that's the problem. Did you see that thing about like the vegan diet he was on?
Yeah.
So my brother's like, "Oh man, it's that vegan diet," and I'm like, "Dude, there's plenty of good athletes that are on vegan diets."
Like who?
I mean, I can't think of any right now, but I've heard guys talk about it like in the NFL, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm on a vegan diet," or they're just like vegetarians, like, "Yeah, I have a salad." So I'm like, I don't think if it was that, Canelo would have been like. Usually, guys can tell when they're not as explosive if they change their diet drastically, or if their weight is a little off. And I don't know, maybe it's because Canelo's not one to make excuses, but I don't think he would even acknowledge that. Even if
I don't think
let's say it
I
was
don't think
that.
he would blame it on the vegan
Yeah, I don't
diet.
think he would say, "Oh yeah." It's like I'm just like he's not gonna make any excuse.
Yeah.
Do you think he bit off a little more than he should have when he was already talking about being undisputed at 175? How do you feel about those comments?
So I've told you that his pursuit of more weight has made me feel uncomfortable.
You see that comment about fighting Usyk at heavyweight, at a catch weight?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about too.
And so I've told you, I feel like he should stay at 160. And I've said this before he even accepted Bivol fight. I said it when he fought Kovalev.
Yeah.
I feel like he should swim the waters at 168 and 160. Be the big king
Big fish
there.
there, yeah. Be the big fish.
And I love Canelo. So, even after the fight, I posted on my Instagram, Canelo forever. So
yeah,
this isn't a like, oh, I'm turning my, I'm no longer a Canelo fan.
And Canelo's still number one on my pound for pound list.
Me too. These pound for pound lists are stupid. Yeah.
Shout out to all those stupid lists.
Yeah.
How did he drop 6 slots after one loss?
It just shows to show you these publications don't
Haters,
watch.
Bro.
Don't watch. Not only are they haters, but they don't watch boxing day to day. They just watch the big name guys, and even then, they probably don't even watch them. But I don't like that game plan because you could do something very special at 168 and 160. You could do something very special at just holding court and becoming the greatest middleweight and welter middleweight in the history of boxing. Where when they look at just your title defenses, how long you held it, it's like Klitschko, who held the title for God knows how many years. And I think that's the route I would take it on Canelo because 170, once you get to 175, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
It's a whole different beast and it's not just so much the opposing side. It's not that Bivol is a natural 175. It's Canelo, you're not a natural 175.
Yeah.
So you are going to have to put on more weight and you're going to be slower just naturally. And Canelo does not have one hit power. He doesn't have that type of power. He has accumulative power, but he has power because of the speed.
Yeah.
A lot like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's power came from the speed. He got you and you weren't ready for it. You weren't ready. Boom. He got you and you were out. And I feel like Canelo at 168, it's where he should be. 160, maybe. I don't know if he can get down to 160 healthy. But reign at 168. Force these guys who want to fight you because everybody still wants to fight Canelo. Make him come up to 168. Benavidez, you want to dance? Come on, come up to 168, big guy. Like, and I think that's the route that Canelo should take, because there is still a lot of legacy left.
Yeah.
And so I admire him trying to conquer 175, but I mean, this is fighting, you know. Science matters, so
Yeah.
so it doesn't
Yeah.
get it gets to a point where it gets too ridiculous. You're not gonna beat Bivol by hitting him in the arm. I don't care how many times you hit him. And I just think that's the same for other guys at that weight division and even higher. But I don't know. I think it should be very interesting, but I think he shouldn't. I don't think he should be roaming in those waters anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. At least not for that like duration of like undisputed. I won't say if I'm like, no, bro, like cut it out.
Yeah, no way. And the thing is, he doesn't have to.
Yeah,
Canelo doesn't need to. He's already on his route to becoming a legend. He doesn't need to do that. And so that's the thing that for me that's confusing. He doesn't need to do that. You don't need to put yourself in that situation, because those type of fights, and I don't think he took that much punishment from Bivol.
mm-hmm.
But those type of fights, you get in enough of those wars, it takes years from your profession away. It just does. Muhammad Ali fought Frazier, and all of those fights removed years from his life and from his career away. That's just what happens. I do want to say this for other people who are saying Canelo got embarrassed or whatever. Please rewatch the fight and mute it. Don't watch it with the announcers, because the announcers are idiots. These guys are reacting to every punch thrown. I want people to understand Bivol would throw 6-7 punch combos and would land 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At the max 3. That, to me, and this is where I feel like I could be a bit of a boxing snub. I don't care if you throw a lot. That's not what I care about. Are you landing, though?
It's got to be efficient. You got to have, yeah.
Because you can throw 1,000 punches. I don't care. But if you're landing 100, it doesn't matter. The math doesn't make sense for you. And I just felt like this happens all the time in fighting. There's a guy who's conquering. There's a guy who's winning, and it happened in MMA with Conor McGregor. It happened a lot with Ronda Rousey, for example. Whenever there's somebody who can't lose or hasn't lost, when they lose, everybody celebrates it. And it's the hater mentality. It's the hater culture. And I just, watching that fight over and over, I just think like, man, like people are really ready to bury Canelo when, I don't know, if he wins that 12th round or the 7th or the 9th or 10th round, we're looking at a draw. At least in my book, I had it 7-5. What did you have it?
I had it 8-4.
Okay.
Yeah. But I saw some guys had it. Okay. If you're just looking at like the punches thrown, I could see like 9-3. But when people were acting like it was,
but that's not a stat. That it's
people
like
were using the word like domination, and I'm like, no, a domination is like Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. That was sad. That was hard to watch. I was like, what we saw with Canelo was just like, definitely wasn't that. Like watching Valdez, I felt bad. I was like, damn, dude. I felt like Shakur was just toying with him at some point. So I was like, damn, he's like landing at will. He's just like landing big punches. But with Canelo, I never felt like Canelo was ever in any danger. And when he had him on, like there was that one exchange when Canelo was on the ropes and Bivol threw like 6-7 punches, and Canelo was like the Matrix. He was like, pop, pop, pop. I'm
That's
like,
what. Look at the damn replay. Look at the
look at it
replay.
slow.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god. Yeah.
I saw this exact exchange with Triple G and Canelo in the first fight, and I thought then, as I do now, that Canelo, if those were like 7 punches, yeah, like maybe Bivol landed like 2 flush, and so.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't think it was like a domination, but guys were like, I was on Twitter and guys were like, "Oh,
yeah." Guys are acting like Canelo didn't win a round, and I just was like, "What are we talking about? What are we looking at?" It just this whole thing of he threw more punches. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's like if we were watching football and you're like, "Oh well, hey, well Joe Burrow threw more passes than Matthew Stafford." It doesn't matter who scored more. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's just so crazy to me that the stat that gets pumped is how many who threw more punches. It just, if you watch boxing and if you know boxing, if you know fighting, not just boxing, because this happens, and I've seen this in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
There's such thing as throwaway punches, because you're throwing a punch not because you expect it to land. You're throwing it because you're setting something up. It's a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And even somebody with a low boxing IQ like Wilder did that. Wilder is really good at like throwing random punches. They don't do anything. They don't land, but it's all a trap because now he's getting you where he wants to take.
He sets you up, yeah.
And so, yeah, that's that. And any analysis that I've seen or heard of Canelo Bivol makes me really angry because I just think like these people don't know what they're talking about.
Dude, I saw, oh my gosh,
it's crazy.
I saw this post. I've seen a couple posts like this, and I'm like, you guys are. I'm like, this is not like. So, they were comparing the Mayweather Canelo fight to the Bivol fight, right? And they're like, guys, the one common factor is that Canelo lost to 2 fighters, whether they're smaller or bigger than him because of skill. And I'm like, sure, obviously with Floyd, yeah. I'm like, you're talking about a guy who.
But Floyd Canelo was young. I don't know if it's scale necessarily.
He's a lot smaller, but yeah, I mean, no one's been able to do anything to Floyd. And I was like, but I don't know. It kind of felt like with Bivol. Remember how with Loma, we kind of felt how Loma was just kind of like not against Teofimo. He just didn't have much output.
Yeah.
Obviously because of his injury. But with Canelo, I was like, okay, bro, where's the output? You gotta put in some, throw something out there. And so it kind of felt like Canelo just his heart wasn't in it. As you said, I just felt a little lackluster. But like it wasn't because Bivol was like so much more skilled.
No,
Canelo. I was like, I'm not getting like boxing technician vibes from Bivol. He can box for sure, but I'm just saying.
I know people were acting like he put up a clinic. They're just like, what are we
no, like this no, we're not talking about like a Lomachenko at light heavyweight. This guy, I mean, you know. So that was annoying. I was like, no, dude. I was like,
why is it that people nowadays don't know what ring generalship is? And I don't mean just fans. I mean like the people that are paid to cover the sport. Because there was a lot of this like, oh, Canelo's being walked to the corner. And I'm just like, is he?
Did not see Canelo calling him into the corner?
Or is Canelo like himself walking to the corner?
Yeah.
Like, and for the life of me, I don't understand why that isn't a thing anymore. But they've changed the definition, because when I think of ring generalship, it's the guy who controls the ring, the guy who is not just walking you down, but you're fighting to his pace.
Yeah.
And you're throwing when he
lets you throw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw for the first like 6-7 rounds of that fight. I still had Bivol winning. I don't want people to get confused. I still had Bivol winning. But this idea, like Bivol won in a fight that Canelo controlled because Canelo didn't throw enough. Like the math in this fight, the analysis of this fight is Bivol was better because Canelo didn't throw. If Canelo throws, Bivol loses Because if
Yeah.
Canelo just throws 10% more jabs, just 10% more jabs, it's a different fight. Because he's keeping him at bay, he's opening him up. Because every time Canelo threw down the middle or he threw an uppercut, they were landing flush. And if he throws more jabs, that just opens you even more. And he goes to the body 10% more. It's a different fight. So this idea that this was a clinic to me was
people were like
was
up
ridiculous.
in arms about the scorecards, and I'm like, the scorecards were fine. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, they were like, oh, it should have been like 10-2, 9-3. Like,
yeah,
this suck. And I'm like, did you not watch the fight? Like, so.
But yeah, I think
it's all sensationalism, man. All those writers and analysts, and they feed it to the fans, and then they're just like,
yeah,
oh yeah, Canelo got destroyed. This is like, I remember. So I didn't watch the Caleb Plant fight live. I saw it like the next day.
Right.
I was playing somewhere, but I was on Twitter, and on Twitter, like, man, if I saw 10 people's like round by round reactions, I would have gotten 10 different analysis of the fight, because everybody was like, some people were like, oh, dude, we're watching Canelo get outboxed. Like, Caleb Plant might actually win this, and blah, blah, blah.
No.
And then there were some who was, oh, no, Canelo's going to hunt him down. And then when I got home and I saw the fight, I'm like, dude, he got knocked out. He got worked. And I was like, sure. I was like, can Caleb Plant box pretty well? I was like, yeah. And I thought he did a lot better than I initially thought he was going to do. But some guys were like, oh, dude, this is it. Like, Canelo looks beatable. He looks vulnerable. And I'm like, bro, what are you watching? Like,
yeah. Sammy had it 8-4 too, right?
I think so. I didn't ask.
I asked him. I think he said 8-4, and I've been judging a lot my scorecards by what he says and by what I say, because it's interesting because we tend to have the same scorecards, which is pretty interesting because it's not on purpose that we have the same scorecards.
Same rounds and everything too, like the same.
No, just the overall.
The overall.
Yeah, but you had it 8-4. I had it 7-5. I think Sammy had it 8-4 too, but it's right there in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
and I just think when I look at some people's scorecards, I just think like, how, like, do you just decide like, oh yeah,
did you just watch like Mike Coppinger's Twitter feed? Is that all you got? Because it's like,
yeah, or
like he had it like 9-3, and I was
yeah,
like,
or some people what they do is they'll watch a 3-minute round, pay attention for 20 seconds, and be like, oh, this guy won 20 seconds, he won the round. You're like, well, it's another two minutes. Yeah. What are we doing here? Should Canelo fight Bivol again?
Okay. I don't get that. Like, when Canelo said, I'm a competitive person and I want the rematch and I want to fight him again.
Yeah.
I didn't believe him. I was just like, I was like, do you want to fight him again? Like, I don't know, like, because all those dudes are waiting at 168. So now that they've announced that Canelo plans to fight Triple G, and then a rematch with Bivol, I was like, oh, I had a feeling this was gonna happen. I had a feeling this like supposed rematch with Bivol was gonna be like put on the back burner. I don't know. I don't know if he should, and I don't know if he really wants to. I didn't really get that sense of urgency when they asked him that during those interviews. So I'm not sure.
I don't.
Do you agree? Do you concur?
Yes. But
go ahead.
I think he could beat him. My only reservation for him not fighting him is if Canelo fights him and beats him, especially if he like wins by KO.
Yeah.
Is Canelo gets this idea that he can continue fighting on 175. Oh. That's the only reason why I don't want him to do it. Because I agree. I just don't know if there's like, what's the incentive? I get the competitiveness. I do get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know if he needs it.
I was about to say it's a lot more unnecessary work, because then you have Beterbiev, and then Zurdo wants to fight Bivol too. And who's the Joe Smith, John Smith?
Yeah.
All those
Let's
dudes.
see if somebody was able to talk him like, hey, all right, you fight Bivol, and that's it. You fight him, you
just vacate that belt.
You vacate the title, and you say, hey, I did this for me. I fought him for me. I'm not fighting at 175. I'm going back down to 168. This was just a personal fight that I needed to fix for me.
Yeah. And then
I don't know if Canelo's
and Charlo and all that.
Yeah, I don't know if Canelo's wired like that, because it's what makes him great. And B, I don't know if there's anyone in his camp who's able to talk him out of it.
Yeah, tell him that. Yeah.
But should he fight him? I agree with you. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't see the point.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in him fighting Bivol another time.
And I just want to see him crush those dudes at 168. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of all the slander and just all the crap talk online. And I'm like, bro,
and the build up.
If you would have just fight Benavidez and then cook Charlo, I was like, you could retire for all I care after that, and then just or throw Boo Boo in there too. All those guys just fight 3 fights in a row, and then just that's it. Go retire and go play with your horses and golf, and then
play golf.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I want.
Canelo Triple G, apparently it's happening in September.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I've seen that twice, and I've seen it okay. Now that Triple G's older, it's like I've seen the best of what that offers. That's it.
Yeah.
I've gotten the best out of those fights, and I need some new. Now it's time to see Canelo in his early 30s take on the young cats, and so I want him to destroy Benavidez, because bro, just watching like the highlights of like the Lemieux fight when he's throwing all those fast punches, I'm like, look at where your chin is, dude. Like, you're not even like, where are the fundamentals? Like, you're just
not only that, but
like,
it's freaking
on these guys.
I know, but it's freaking Lemieux.
You think Canelo's just gonna sit there and let you do that to him? Like, that's not how it works.
But it's like you're fighting against Lemieux. Like, hearing Showtime's thing, it's like, guys, can we settle the hell down? He's fighting Lemieux. That's who he's fighting. He's not doing this to a top guy. He's not doing this to a top contender even. Like, what are we doing? Like, it'd be like if, I don't know, in football, if you just crush
like the Lions or something.
Yeah, it's like if the Rams were to
we did that. It's like,
yeah, they're like,
it don't work like that. Yeah. Do it to New England, then we can talk.
We did that. Exactly. And I was hearing that call, and I just was like, man, what is this? But again, there's probably casuals watching it who have no idea what's happening, have no idea about comparing styles. And they look at Benavidez and they say, "Oh man, I don't know, Canelo."
Whoa, yeah.
And you're just like, bro.
It's like, you do know that guy lost to top contenders like years ago too, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen him get destroyed. Yeah.
And obviously Benavidez wraps himself in the Mexican flag now. He does the interview in Spanish. And
the Mexican monster. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Mike Tyson's Canelo, the Mexican monster too. Let's relax, Bandera, relax. So.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But yeah, I feel the same way about the Triple G fight. Like, all right, cool. I'll have a carne asada September.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. We'll watch it. I think Canelo's gonna knock him out, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be in SpongeBob mode after that. I'm gonna be like in the diner waiting, like with my little hands like, when are they announcing the next Canelo fight? Because that wasn't it for me. Like a low cup of coffee and like soup. I'm like, all right, it's back in a hibernation mode. Once Canelo's done fighting, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tune out. Like, just I'm obviously watch the other fights, but still.
Who's the Triple G fight for?
Like, who wants it?
Yeah.
Like, who? I don't know, man.
Like, obviously Triple G wants it, right? Obviously the Zone wants it. And you and I maybe are not the right are not the right audience for it because we are diehards and
Yeah.
we've seen this movie twice before. But who like is who is like I can see like my parents getting excited for this. Oh, it's Canelo. Oh, Golovkin. Like,
Yeah.
is that who this is for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in the interviews you've heard of Canelo where he's like, no, I don't want to fight him again. And now and then slowly the answers turned into went from I don't need to fight him to, well, if that's what the fans want, and that's where we're at now. Like it's just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because they
And like
announced it.
that, the olive branch, it's like, all right, Triple G's gonna get one last payday. Bro, aren't you 40? Like, go. Kazakhstan's calling you, bro. They want you back, you know? Go.
Yeah, because I saw it and I just was like, okay, cool. Like Canelo's fight. The way I took that, it wasn't like, oh, Canelo's fighting Triple G again. It was like, oh, okay, cool. Canelo's fighting September. I need to request that Saturday off.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
Like, what's the price on cheddar at the store? That's what you need to check.
Exactly.
Those are the big details you need to worry about. You're like, all right, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I think we're gonna see. Canelo losing would be super ridiculous. That would be super shocking. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what takes place. Let's talk about Benavidez versus Lemieux. Happened on Saturday. We've kind of brushed on it. I wasn't as impressed because it was against Lemieux. He took him out in 3 rounds, which is what he's supposed to do. But like you said, it wasn't like I judge these type of fights when a guy's fighting someone they're supposed to beat by what they're showing you in terms of their skills.
Yeah.
And David Benavidez didn't look like a guy who had improved his skills versus David Lemieux.
Yeah.
It just looked like, David Lemieux is a model. He's a Canadian model. That's what he's into.
Is he really? He does that? I mean, he got like nice hair and everything. Does he?
Yeah. He's a model.
Bro, why are you fighting? What the heck?
That came out during the Triple G fight. When he fought Triple G, he had, if you remember, his hair was like slick.
Yeah, he had it all combed like
and
a little fade.
They had told him like, hey, maybe you should cut it because with the hair, his hair would like flap.
Be flopping around. So yeah.
Every time they would hit you, even if it's hitting your gloves and your glove hits your head, your hair's gonna flop. The judges are gonna think you're getting hit.
Yeah.
But he didn't take it out because he had a photo shoot like a few weeks after to promote some whatever modeling thing. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by the skills of David Benavidez. That I just was like, I mean, cool, like you won, but you should beat David Lemieux. I just don't know how these skills translate, especially since he talks about like he's guaranteeing he's going to knock out Canelo. I just don't know how I just don't know how those skills translate. But maybe they don't have to, because if you get the fight, maybe you win, and maybe that's the attitude these guys have. I just need to get to that fight, and if I get to the fight, I'm the winner.
I'd like to see him versus Plant. I want to see all these big fights made. So it's like, I mean,
but what the hell happened to Plant? Why isn't he fighting?
No, he's gonna fight. I don't know if they've secured it, but he's supposed to fight Durrell, one of the Durrell brothers.
I know, but why is he taking so long? I don't understand these guys and their long layoffs between fights.
Let's see. Does he have a date already for that? I don't know. Let's see. Caleb Plant versus Durrell. Yeah, the date. They haven't even agreed on a date. I don't know, man. Maybe he's enjoying that Canelo money. I don't know. I mean, that's what people were saying. Anytime you fight Canelo, it's like, I mean, obviously the whole payday thing. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to see, if Benavidez knocked out Caleb Plant in 3 rounds, I'd be like, oh, sign me up. Yeah, bro.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
Like something was wanted. Let's go. But
Yeah.
yeah, but when you fought like Lemieux or like Ronald Ellis, I was like, you're supposed to do that to these guys like that. That's
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. How old is he? He like 25, 26, right? Benavidez?
Yeah, he looks old though. He's an old 25.
He's got that LeBron type. Like I remember when in high school someone told me LeBron was 29, and I was like, good God, LeBron looks old. But it's because he's so big, and like he just. I feel like you age faster when you're that big. But
yeah,
29, But
yeah, because he's young, but he's 25 years old. Wow, he's an old 25. Let's do Mungia Mungia. Okay, so I did a whole thing on Twitter about Mungia.
We need to straighten that out. You're flipping and flopping here.
No, I'm not. No. Don't do that.
You're not, but it's just,
don't do that to me. How dare you?
You gotta stay patient here because
no.
Look. Yeah, yes. Hold up. Because you had the same attitude before the Rosado fight, right? And so he's when did he fight before this guy? He fought that Dimitri Ballard guy a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
So this is the Mexican way of like you take a big fight and then you take like 2 bum fights, and then so after this one, I think we're due for like a step up, and then you gotta. He's staying active. He's collecting that little check. He's just is okay. Would it look as bad if? Would you feel the same way if? Let's see, Munguia fights Rosado, and then he just doesn't fight at all this time.
Yes.
And then he fights like that would look worse, right? But he's just he's quote unquote staying active. So just give him some time. Give him some time.
Okay.
Because once he gets a big fight and we're over here like
David Munguia, like Jaime Munguia is 25 years old. This is my beef with this. Can you name me another top guy he's fought besides Gabriel Rosado?
Liam Smith? I don't know. I would say Liam Smith is top, but Liam Smith is like he's not a slouch,
He's not. Besides him,
that's it. I can only remember the Gary O'Sullivan.
Okay, yeah.
That was like a little test fight,
Yeah,
definitely not like these two guys. So he's getting there. This is the hill. And
look, he's fought 39 fights.
Yeah.
He's 25 years old.
That's the thing with Mexican boxers, bro. If you look at like Surdo Ramirez's record, he's fought, bumps too, but they're working their way up,
Let's just speed up the process. Can we put like ×2 on this movie?
Hey, I prefer this over like the modern day Protect the O method where you have Caleb Plant who's fought like 20 fights total, and I'm like, you're in your 30s, bro. Like, so
you know what? You're right.
You know what I mean? Because then I see all these like young studs, and they have, I'm 16-0, and I'm like,
well, even Bivol, he's 30, he's 31, and he's like 20. He was his 20th win. You know what? You're right. You just got to give him a little.
Jaime
Munguia, I apologize to you. I hope you win.
I'm here for you. I got you,
bro. On June 11th. I'm just I drank all the Kool-Aid against Rosado. I drank all of it. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, can we get more Kool-Aid? What is this? Where's the Kool-Aid? What? You keep giving me water. I want Kool-Aid. Yeah. You gave me really good Kool-Aid, and you took it away.
Like,
so
man, like, that's I'm out. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's it, yeah.
So I'm a believer in Jaime Munguia. I wasn't before, and that Gabriel Rosado fight showed me everything and more about the guy. That I just like, man, I wish you were fighting Triple G. Because if you were fighting Triple G, then that fight would
be sick. Something. Yeah.
I wish you were to fight Boo Boo, because that would be sick. Because then we would know who you are. Even if you were to lose in a competitive fashion, it's like, okay, Munguia is here, and he is a real guy with real skills. ready to compete at
Is
this
he
level.
is he already at 160 or is he still at 160? Like
Is
his
he at
last two
once?
fights, I can't even remember. Let me look it up.
Mungia. That's a good question.
Also, I heard he like didn't he almost like pass out at the weigh-in for the Rosado fight? Like, didn't he? He was kind of.
Yeah, he looks super like.
I saw a video of that, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
super chupado.
Yeah, that's still at middleweight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's still
he's
middleweight.
got to go up. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So we'll see. That's. I had a rant, but you're right. You corrected me.
So it's okay, Jim.
That
we
was
all have
good.
moments.
Let's do it.
I had to look it up when I saw your tweet. I was like, "Wait, what is Germ talking about?" He was like high on this guy a few months ago.
And I am high on him. I
I know, but then so I had to Google. I was like, "Is he fighting?" I was like, "I bet he's fighting again," and it's some trash, some trash. So I looked it up, and I was like, "Okay, this is why he's mad." So it made sense, but I was like, "He's fought them in a span of like what, like 4, 5 months?"
You're
like,
right. You're right.
It's activity,
right.
bro. It's activity.
Yeah. I get you. Tank versus Rolly. That's this Saturday. Tank is still in the Mayweather protection plan. I think Tank is gonna win. I think Tank is better.
Sammy thinks he's gonna lose.
Really?
Sammy's weird, bro. I don't know what
I can see him losing. It wouldn't be surprising. I just think he's almost out of the Mayweather camp. So I don't know. I feel like
Broly fights so weird though. He fights like dirty, but not even good dirty. It's like you're losing points the way he fights.
Yeah.
He's so like he grabs onto guys and everything, and I'm like, oh, it's not. So I don't know.
Who do you have in that fight?
I like Tank. I also just don't like Rolly in general. I think he's annoying, and I think it's what like he sounds like a little Mike Tyson kind of. Like he has like a little lisp.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's annoying. So I hope he gets knocked out. I hope Tank I like Tank. I don't say that enough, but I kind of out of the 3 or 4 horsemen, if you will, like Garcia, Haney. I think I like Tank the most. I don't know. I feel like he's only like really runs his mouth when he's like provoked a bunch. Other than that, I think he's like a quiet guy, and there's just like an image portrayed of him being this like Mayweather bad boy. But I don't know. I definitely find like Ryan and Devin like more annoying and just like all this trash talk. But
yeah,
I like Tank, so I hope he knocks out Rolly. I think he's gonna win. And then after he's done with that contract with Mayweather, I hope he gets some big fights and we see him, live up to, the potential that we think he has. So,
yeah, a lot of people are picking Rolly.
Yeah,
which is very interesting. They're going with his size but Tank has figured guys in him and he's figured them out. So to me, I have Tank just because I feel he's more skilled. He has more skills.
He's more seasoned too.
Yeah, and he has more stuff in his bag to go to in this type of fight. Because if this type of fight gets complicated, I feel like Tank is able to go to plan A, plan B. I don't know if he has a plan C, but he's able to do more things as opposed to Rolly, who I feel is
one-dimensional.
Yeah, just one-dimensional, and that's it. He's gonna use his highs, and obviously you spoke about his dirty play, but I'd be really surprised if Tank doesn't win that. So even though Rolly's a complicated fighter,
I think Sammy's angle is that that Mayweather's trying to screw over Tank by putting in like a up and coming young buck who is dangerous, which is supposed to be Rolly, as like the last fight of his contract. And I'm like, I was like,
is this Tank's last fight with Mayweather?
I think so.
Isn't it? I mean, I hope so.
Because that's I know online he was saying like, yeah, they like he didn't even want to fight Rolly. He's like, yeah, he's like they want me to fight this guy, like Mayweather and the team. So, which is weird because they're on the same. They're both PBC, right? They're Mayweather Promotions, and they want to keep it in house. But
yeah,
I hope Tank would much rather fight like, the other big dudes outside of PBC because that's what we all want to see. But
oh yeah, this is his last fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully he goes away from the PBC and joins
What match?
my guy Eddie Hearn or Top Rank or anybody not
Yeah.
PBC, even Golden Boy, and just anybody who's not
You
PBC.
see De La Hoya's comments about the Canelo Bivol thing?
Yeah, he's called
That
it
was trash, dude. I was like,
called it
this doesn't make you look
Mayweather.
good. I was
Yeah,
like, I don't think you did what you think you just did, like by
yeah.
saying that.
Then did you see his whole like, hey, Canelo is there still the door still open for you to come back, pretty much to the best promoter in boxing?
Oh,
There ever been a guy with the complete opposite personality as a fighter and promoter as De La Hoya? Because I love De La Hoya, the fighter.
yeah,
The dude had balls. The dude had like he would fight anybody, even if he would lose. He was willing to take on all
yeah.
comers. And the promoter is just this like drunk dude who like says stupid things, and I'm just like, dude, like
What happened?
I
Like,
wish you were to be a promoter the way you were a fighter, because then you would make the best fights ever. Instead, you like protect your fighters way too much. And he just says stupid things where the boxer was very like he was very calculated about what he said and what he did. And this guy is just like your drunk uncle who just says wild things at the
yeah,
time.
that's sad, man. I don't know. It, man, it's crazy to see, man, because like you know, I remember when he was fighting, and it was like Oscar De La Hoya was like a name that was it was like a household name, and it was like
Yeah.
respected. You're like, oh yeah, dude, and now it's like the latest thing is like, oh, did you hear what he said now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
now, and it's like, oh no, so
Yeah, it's so weird.
no, man, he's gotta get some good people around him to help him,
Yeah.
figure things out.
Let's end the pod with Garcia, our favorite guy to talk about on the podcast. Shout out to Ryan Garcia. He gives the Arrows Up podcast a lot of content. Ryan, if you ever want to come on, please, you're more than welcome to join us. And I mean that. You're more than welcome to join us. So he still doesn't have an opponent. He was supposedly he was mandated, right, to fight Cruz.
The WBC.
But that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen, especially with the PBC and Golden Boy relationship the way it is. I hope he fights again. I hope we see Ryan Garcia again, because I think, as you laid out the case for Munguia, I immediately thought of Ryan, and I thought like, yeah, you know what? It would have been way better for Ryan to fight a bunch of bums over the last 3 years than for him to fight nobody.
Yeah.
And it just seems his career is now sad, because I just think like, so who are you fighting next? Can you just announce a fight, please? Just pick anybody. Pick me. Fight me. At least you'll have like,
Throw me in there.
Yeah, like
I'll drop a couple pounds just for you, bro.
Yeah, just so that you can have some like.
I'll keep your boy warm. That's what I was
exactly.
I'll keep your boy warm, bro. Throw me $50. I'll keep him warm.
Like, I just think like, man, like what are we seeing here? What are we doing with his career? Do you think we see him fighting this year?
Yeah. So from what I've seen him talking about, is that I think he's targeting July or August, and he's like, whether it's Isaac Cruz or not, he's like, I want to fight on this date. So I'm like, all right, as long as he finds somebody, I guess. But I don't know. But as you've told me, it's like, oh, there's always someone to fight, no matter how trash they are. They'll find somebody to fight.
There really is. Last time he fought was in April, so July seems like a good month for him to fight again.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll look out. But okay, so there's a lot of frustration with like the Cruz thing, especially on Ryan's end.
Mm-hmm.
And as we mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned it before the pod or earlier in this pod, but it was like, I'm not buying into the whole like Cruz boogeyman thing. Like, sure, I would like to see that fight, but I'm not devastated that it's not going through. I still don't think Cruz is this like little monster that can take him down. I mean, maybe he can, but it's like I'm not super disappointed that this isn't going through.
Yeah, me neither. I'm disappointed that we don't have an opponent for Garcia.
Yeah, just in general, anybody.
Yeah.
It's that it's not Cruz, you know.
Yeah, but you did mention this before we started recording, and it's so true because people are acting like, and again, this goes back to what we said earlier about the boxing media who doesn't know anything about boxing, but they get paid to talk about boxing. Send us a check. We'll give you good boxing content. Send us a check.
I was about to say, man, those guys make a living like speaking garbage, and we're over here doing it for free. Like,
not we, but they are treating Cruz like he's like Triple G
at 135.
And you're just like, dude, can we relax? Like, this guy is not that guy. And I think, I don't know if maybe it's because they're trying to build it up because it's Ryan. And because if you build it up that way, then Ryan's able to sell it. And now all of a sudden people are hyped for it because now he's fighting the quote unquote boogeyman. But I don't see it either. It's so weird that he's now the like scary guy at 135 when Tank like ran through him. If anything, I think Tank is the boogeyman there.
Yeah.
If there's gonna be a boogeyman, not that there is, but if you're gonna pick a guy, I think the closest thing there would be Tank there than Cruz. It's so weird. That whole narrative to me, I don't understand it either.
It's funny. I remember a few years ago when gosh, who was Ryan gonna fight? I remember suggesting that Ryan should have fought Gamboa. Because it was right after Devin Haney had fought Gamboa and he went the distance with him. And I thought I was like, oh, maybe if Ryan fights Gamboa and knocks him out, it'll look good because he'll be like, oh, I just ran through this guy that you took him 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And now that Cruz has done that, Cruz is like, they're giving him all the hype and he's like, oh, dude. And I'm like, so it's funny how that works out. I was like, damn. So
and it's funny too because they don't look at the opponents. Like Gamboa has been finished. I remember years ago, and this is when HBO was still showing fights.
Yeah,
when Terrence Crawford beat Gamboa, and that was a younger Gamboa who
was still, that at 140?
Who you still had there was still the illusion that he could reach the potential. Yeah. But it's so weird that you just see what happens and you don't really pay attention to who they did it against.
It's like Benavidez and Lemieux all over again. It's like, it's like, well, look at the result. It's like, but you got to look at the quality of the opponent, and
even David Lemieux was probably like, dude, calm down, bro. Like, I need to. I'm just here collecting checks. Bro.
Yeah, Lemieux's like, I'm not all that anyway.
Like, settle down. You're not. Why are you being coronated after beating me? Like, what is going on here?
Okay, so those belts that Benavidez had after that fight, are those like, do you get a belt whenever you've held one that you get to keep forever? Like, is that what that is?
I had no idea. I was so confused
because I'm just like, Canelo has all the belts at 168. So I was like, what is he holding? Are those like?
I was so confused by those belts because I was just like, and they even say he's a 2-time something champion, and I'm like, of what? Like, what? Like, what champion belt is he holding? Did Canelo let him borrow a belt that he can use? I don't understand. Like, it was so weird. Yeah, I didn't understand either of the belts. I saw them and I just thought, like, okay, I guess. Like,
I was like, are those the interim belts or are those like? That's what I'm thinking. Like, whenever you win any title, do you just get like a copy to hold on to and like?
Yeah. So I think that does happen. You get because Canelo. Remember in that interview he does with you had sent me the interview where he's like in his house and he shows his house, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, with Grant Bensinger,
yeah, and he shows all the belts. So I think you'd get like your own copy or your own belt, and then you get the one that gets transferred over. But I don't know.
Had 2 of them, and I was like, bro, where are you getting these from? I was like, what's going on?
Just buying them from the store, just so that
it's like,
he can feel like he did something. You're the champion for this fight. You're the David Lemieux Bowl champion,
yeah.
previously held by whoever beat David Lemieux last.
Whoever sold it to you on the street, you know.
Yeah.
Like, those from the Swabby, bro.
Oh,
Like,
man. Yeah. So anything else? Anything else we need to go through?
I don't think so. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. We've pretty much covered it. Cool. So we'll obviously keep an eye out on all things fighting as they continue to come and develop. The Canelo one is pretty much set. Like, he pretty much said, yeah, you can expect me to fight Golovkin. So there's not gonna we're not gonna have to do like an official announcement of that. And then obviously we'll stay tuned for Ryan, and then we'll come back to see we have to talk about Haney versus Kambosos, because I think we'll do a pot on this one, but I do think, and you could correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think that has potential to be one of the most important fights of this year.
Ooh.
Because
elaborate. Yeah, go ahead.
Because of the aftermath that can ensue. Because
as far as like the belts,
the competition, who these guys are going to fight. Because I think a few years ago, all of these guys were young, where the promoters were not as willing
to put the cash cow on the line.
Now they're older.
Yeah.
And I think the winner of Kambosos Haney becomes, we're going to find out a lot about that guy, because he's either going to be an incredible champion who's going to defend his belts in this like pool of like talented fighters.
Sharks, yeah.
Or we're going to see the belt jump around from guy to guy,
exactly.
Which even that would be great, because we would just see a bloodbath. So I think that has the potential to be one of the most important fights the entire year. Because I think it's even more important than Usyk Joshua, because unless Joshua completely destroys Usyk, I don't see an event where he doesn't get a rematch, where we don't get the third one. So we wouldn't see Fury Usyk or Fury Joshua until maybe December.
Wait, real quick. So do you not believe that Fury's retiring?
No.
Okay, me either. Good.
Right. We have a motto in this podcast. We don't believe rappers. And fighters when they say they retire. We don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's just too much money. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Usyk, whoever the winner comes out in either this fight or the next fight for Usyk Joshua, whoever the winner is, we're just gonna get a
like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I'm back. Like,
yeah, just come on. They tell Fury, hey, you could make 150 million. Go come fight in Saudi Arabia. Like, he's gonna say yes. Of course he's gonna say yes. So yeah, I don't believe he's retiring. Because even a few weeks, like a few days later, he kind of rescinded his retirement. And the WSD was like, okay, we'll let him take his time. It's okay. So yeah, I don't believe he's
good.
He's retiring.
Good.
But yeah, so
that's after Tom Brady, bro. I'm just like, I don't believe anybody. Like,
yeah, oh my God, Tom Brady
one. As soon as Brady was back, and then you heard talks of like Tyson saying, "Oh, I'm done." I was like,
no, bro, we called the Tom Brady one though. We called it. Oh my God.
I do feel a little snaked because I like poured my heart out in that pod, like all those stories, and it's like, Tom, I trusted you, like, but it's fine. That means they can do it again.
We're gonna, when now he's gonna be an announcer at Fox apparently when he was retired. So, When he retires for real, you'll have to do a second part. You can,
yeah, we'll be like,
yeah,
psych, we're not done.
yeah. It's time for real. But yeah, that's the pod. So we'll talk again. We'll do either the recap or the preview of Combosos Haney, and then we'll dive into the Rolly tank in that one. And then we'll even do some Star Wars stuff. We'll do some
true. Shout out to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Also,
we'll do
just to
some
put
of that
pressure on them. Shout out to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Let's
it's happening.
Let's let a little more action, and let's get a date.
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it, so I kind of just. But yeah, shout out to those guys for finally.
Knock on wood, bro. Come on, man.
I am happy that both of those dudes are pretty much saying, no, I'm not interested in it. Don't ask me about anybody except this guy.
Yeah, let's
do it.
Come on.
Oh my God, yeah, that's going to be amazing when it happens, because I think we're getting that fight.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
sorry. Let's assume Crawford wins. I know most people have Crawford winning that. I'm gonna go ahead and back Spence just because I don't know, just to be different, I guess. Call me a rebel. But let's say Crawford wins.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen this little beef with him going to 154 and fighting Charlo. How do you feel about that? You think that's silly? You think it's like nice? Because Crawford started at 140, right?
Yeah.
130. So 14 pounds, total. And Bud is 34, if I'm not mistaken. So he's slowly getting to those.
I think he has the skill to do it, certainly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call Charlo.
I don't think he's a slouch, but I don't know if he has the.
He's not a slouch, but I don't know. But he's not he doesn't have the skills.
Yeah.
I think the age could be a problem.
Just his weight.
Yeah.
Size.
I think the age could be a problem because of not that 34 is old, but when you add in what you just said, you have to gain 14 pounds or so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because I think that's another thing we didn't hit on with the Canelo. I don't know if Canelo gained the weight in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he has the skills to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm up for it. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll pay for it. For sure. No problem. But
that would be some cool build-up.
Especially because Charlo and Spence are boys. So if you're able to beat the boys back to back, that'd be pretty special. But give me Spence Crawford first, and then we can talk about it. Whatever.
All right.
Give me that one first. Let's talk about that one, and then we go any direction. But so we'll reconvene again and open up the sport of boxing as you get the true boxing analysis on this podcast with no exaggerations, no fandom. Yeah, we took away our Canelo fandom away to discuss Canelo, which I felt like we were very critical of Canelo. So shout out to both of us that we didn't speak with our hearts today, because I had we done this podcast like the Sunday after the Canelo fight, I would have been full blown Canelo apologist.
Yeah.
I needed to let it settle. I needed to relax. I needed to rewatch it so that what came out was a very honest assessment of the fight and not me defending Canelo from the trolls on Twitter. Shout out to Harry for the trolling.
That's gotta chill, bro. Someone drug test him.
Someone drug test. Oh man. All right. So David, it was good to see you. We'll talk soon. For the Arrows Up podcast, you can subscribe to our podcast anywhere you get your pods. Please rate, review, subscribe, and we'll have another pod coming this week with Harry. Actually, we'll talk baseball and we'll do that. So and as of now, Harry's still suspended from talking boxing. I was close to removing it, but his takes are too crazy that I don't want to be affiliated with those takes, especially on this podcast, especially after we just kind of dumped on the boxing media for a good while. Bringing it on would be like would be us being hypocrites. So, Harry, we love you, but I gotta
Yeah,
keep
settle down.
I gotta
Yeah,
keep you to baseball at this point. So, Arizona podcast. Until next time, talk to you soon.